Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning BEATRICE, Alabama 36425. We are in the early morning hours here at Howcee Productions Gospel Blog Talk Radio. I want to thank all of you all for joining us here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, BEATRICE, Alabama 36425. We hope everything's going well for you. We're going to be talking about voting today. We're going to be playing it on a new artist as well. We're going to be talking about voting. We're going to talk about you getting registered to vote. We're going to be talking about the November the 8th election coming up. As I straighten out my mustache here. It's a little bit one-sided, but it's still mine. We hope everything's going well for you. God is absolutely good all the time. Good morning, good morning, good morning, BEATRICE, Alabama 36425. I'm your host, Freddie C. Howard. You can call us on the cell phone if you want to. Let's turn the cell phone on. Hang up a little bit of volume. That's if you want to call in. The number is 1-251-362-1935. Good morning, BEATRICE, Alabama. Got the music playing in the background there. You can call us anytime you get ready now. BEATRICE, the number is 1-251-362-1935. Anybody that's on Facebook, you can call us as well. We're going to be talking about voting today. Now that you're live, you can see your real-time insights, add tools to increase distribution and engagement. Freddie C. Howard is live on BEATRICE, Alabama, 36425. Howcee Radio listeners. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Howcee Radio listeners. We hope everything's going well for you, wherever you are. There's a lot of folks on Good Morning BEATRICE, Alabama, 36425. 205 people on our private website. You can definitely join us there if you like. It's up to you. God has been good to all of us, and He's good to us all of the time. All the time, He's good. Representative Thomas Jackson is running for the District 68 election. He's over there in Thomasville. He had a great show Sunday night on 9.5 WJDB. Powerful show. Talking about believing, talking about doing all the good things that you need to know. You will join us there. Also, you can check that out on Mixcloud. We also got queued up music from Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph out of Talladega, Alabama. Artist Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph. The album is called Heaven, and we're going to be playing Come and Go With Me later on. Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph. The album is called Heaven. It's gospel music out of Talladega, Alabama. Their website is http://www.youtube.com. Just type in Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph. It'll take you right straight to their website. Email the artist at hollandtriumph@yahoo.com. You can find them on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Spotify, and other places. We hope you will check them out. Yes, sir, indeed. We also have music queued up. Let's go back and go live in some places. Need to go live in a few places here. We'll go live on Twitch. Okay. On Twitch, TWITCH. That's beat 7 times 77. Howcee Twitch. That's where we are live. We are going to go to some other places and go live as we wait for it to load and upload. We are live on Twitch. We are live on Twitch. Good morning, Beatrice, Alabama. Good morning, Beatrice, Alabama. Let's go to LinkedIn. We're live. We're going live. We're going to be live on LinkedIn. We hope you have a link there on LinkedIn, and that's my board is showing up where I am live. Freddie C on LinkedIn as it gets ready to load. Okay, Freddie Howard, LinkedIn. Okay, let's go to another place here. We're gonna go live to Twitter. That's another page of mine. We want to be live in anywhere you can find us here on Facebook. We are loading Twitter to be live. You hear the music pounding in the background there. We hope everything is going well for you, no matter what your situation is or what is going on in your life. Good morning, Beatrice, Alabama. Your radio host is yours truly, Freddie C. Notifications. Imagine it's a notification from the League of Women Voters. League of Women Voters, Fair Maps in South Carolina, and two others followed by Lynn S.T. Senator Ted Cruz says that he wants to abolish the IRS. How about that? Tally Casey, can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. Oh, man, all kinds of good stuff on here. Project Salt Bay, kind of good stuff. Vote USA Foundation retweeted a photo from Levy County Supervisor's election, Tammy Jones. First time voters, Jeremy spent this morning early voting. Congress Jeremy on making your voice heard, making a difference in Levy County. Oh, man. All kinds of good information here. That's Twitter letting me know that I logged in from a new source yesterday on the 17th. That's all right. Okay. You make sure you get yourself registered to vote. Women of League voters. Let's see who is sending a message to me. I believe that was Mr. Clyde Robinson down in Florida. Good morning, Mr. Robinson. How you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. About 7 minutes into the time radio. Hey, Mr. Robinson, you can call 1-251-362-935 if you want to talk live this morning. God's still good. We hope everything is going well for you wherever you are. They are voting in Florida too, Robinson. If you want to talk about voting in Florida, okay. You want to talk about your vote in Florida? Elections, man. Do you know elections? Elections. Let's see as I got all of these streaming here this morning. I believe I got that on YouTube. Let's see. That's YouTube we go into now. Okay, we're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Okay. We'll make sure we got them all squared away here. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Make sure we got them all squared away. Okay. We're live on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on Tweet. We're live on Twitter. And we hope that you are following us today. Let's see here. Let's see, can we send them a message? Let's paste that there. Elections. Hey, do. Let's go back and restart that again because we're getting some stuff squared away here on our. Okay, let's do that again. We are getting some things started squared away here. Do. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Sorry about the long music interlude there. We hope we didn't run you away. God is absolutely good, and He is good all of the time. He is good all of the time. We thank you for being here with us. Elections. Our vote is our power. Through our votes, election makes our voice heard. How important is elections for you? Elections. Our vote is our power. Through our votes, election make our voice heard. We had the opportunity to enter into a relationship with the League of Women Voters of Alabama. several months ago. We were over on the square there in Monroe. The League of Women Voters out of Huntsville and Montgomery. Presidents came down and was with us a while, and we had 3 students from J.F. Shields. They have graduated and moved on to college now. Mr. Kobe Hawthorne and Zakira Smith and Treasurer Starworth. That was all part of our meeting there that we had on the square there, right on the backside of the amphitheater there. The League of Women Voters protects and empowers millions of voters every year to ensure that all elections are fair, accessible, and representative of all Americans. Why it matters? Why does it matter that that you can vote? Why does it matter that you can vote? A shout out to Mr. Fly Robinson this morning. We are talking about voting this morning. And we thank you for being a part of our broadcast today. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, where we are live. Shout out to some of the folks that are tuning in this morning, because God is actually good. We just want you to know where you can catch up with us. And you know you can get this on Restream. We are there as well. Anyway, we are talking about voting this morning. Now, how important is it? Why it matters? Election affects every area of our lives. This is why it matters. From healthcare, jobs, to racial justice. When we choose our leaders by voting, we're choosing the people who will make decisions that shape the direction of our country and our communities. There are several types of elections in which voter participants, including but not limited to presidential election, congressional elections, state election, local elections. All of these things are important. We are going to copy where you can go and get some of this information. That's if you want to. Let's go ahead and if you want to copy this, we're going to edit it. Let's hope we can add this to this logo that's already out there. Let's give some space in there and see, can we get that in there? Okay, we got it in there. All right, let's see if we got enough space in there. Okay. Our vote is our power. Through our votes, election make our voices heard. Let's go back and some space in that caption there. Make our voices heard. Let's go right here. Put some space in there. And you can go to www.leagueofwomenvoters.org/election. Let's go ahead and save that. We're talking about elections this morning. Elections are taking place in the state of Florida. Many other places. We're going to go to homepage for the League of Women Voters, and voting, empowering voters, defending democracy. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan grassroots organization working to protect and expand voting rights and ensure everyone is represented in our democracy. We empower voters and defend democracy through advocacy, education, and litigations at the local, state, and national level. Voting is people power. Register to vote. August the 26th, which is 3 days from now, is Women Equality Day. You can take action about that. The freedom to vote, improve election, reduce political influence, fight for fair redistricting. To become a league member, join us one of the 700 plus state, local, and we're going to go ahead and put in our zip code, which is 36425. 36425. All right. Enter your zip code. Okay, we are in Alabama. Alabama is the state that we are talking about. League of Women Voters. Let's enter the zip code 36425. All right. Baldwin County, east of Alabama, Greater Birmingham, Greater Tuscaloosa, Mobile, Montgomery, Southwest Alabama, Tennessee Valley, League of Women Voters shows. All right. Montgomery League of Women Voters. That is Miss Carol Mosley is the president of the League of Women Voters in Montgomery. All right. If you wanted to get in touch with the League of Women Voters out of Montgomery, let's see here. League of Women Voters. All of that information is important, and it is important that you get yourself registered to vote. It is absolutely important. I'm going to go to, good morning, Ms. Lofton. Lois Lofton likes the video that we're doing this morning, and we hope that everybody will tune in, or everybody that wants to tune in, that is. We're going to go to our Beatrice, Alabama page. That's where we are now. No, we need to go to another place. We need to go to the MLK, yeah, MLK page, I believe. Okay. Okay, let's go here. Just moving around on the pages here, we want to find some particular information about the women legal voters that we are interacted with several days ago. Now, if you want to get registered to vote now, it is important that you get registered to vote. Go to your place, a polling place, find out the information that you need to get registered. Let's see here. We are, let's see. All right. Okay, God is absolutely good. Shouting out to folks that got birthdays today. We hope you are doing the right thing. And let's go down and scroll down and vote 411. Now, if you want to find out more information about voting, go to the website Vote 411, the election information you need, Alabama voting information. Okay. There is another website, UnitedAmerican.org, county over party, country over party. There's a logo that you can use on your Facebook page. It says, I will vote. And we hope that you will vote. There's things that you can do to make sure you're registered to vote. Thanks to the RSVP, Ms. Howard, Monroe County High School students, the Alabama League of Women Voters, Kathy Jones, and others that met with us on the square. We hope that you will take the information about voting part. Your vote matters. Make a difference for Alabama. Vote 2022. voter services on the square. We held that Monday, February the 28th, 2022 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we did it again on Saturday, March the 26th, 2022 at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That was next to the Monroe Courthouse. We also had a call for action Tuesday, March the 15th. Colleagues and friends during 2020 in the midst of the pandemic, Alabama had record voter turnout and absentee voting, all with no voter fraud. Instead of celebrating this achievement, Alabama elected leaders are seeking new, more restricted and unfair voting and election laws, which have no merit except to make the voting experience much more complicated and confusing. Establishing criminal penalties for those who are only waiting to support citizens as they engage in the election process. And they have said things such as, when you're voting line, a certain distance, I believe it's 150 feet. If that person is 150 feet away from entering that poll place, if they are closer than 150 feet from entering a poll place, you cannot be handing them water and stuff, okay? That's laws that are enacted, okay? It is very important that you be familiar with what you need to know so far as voting. The Alabama Voting Rights Coalition provided instruction on locating your state senators, contact information, and writing an effective message. See this, it's information that you can get so far as whatever you want to do, so far as voting. You can get the information that you need about voting. It is important that you vote, that you get registered. It is important that you vote and get registered. There was a bill that was put out, Allen vote on a bill, and all kinds of information. It is important that you know your rights about voting. It is important that you know your rights about voting. What are you doing to protect your vote? That was House Bill 19. This bill was introduced in 2022 regular session of Alabama legislation by Representative West Allen, Republican District number 89. Why HB 94 is bad for voting rights and voter education in Alabama. These are some of the battles that we were in with the people there that came down and worked with us on the square. We also went to a meet event in March, speaking out against voting, and we made sure that we spoke out on the issue. League of Women Voters President Kathy Jones spoke that came down and visited with us here in Monroe County as well. Alabama election bill faces pushback from voting rights advocates. That was us. Voting rights groups speak out against the Zuckerbill bill. League of Women Voters Alabama would voter outreach at alabama.com. We was at the St. John AME Church there up in Montgomery, battling to stop House Bill H-194. And let me tell you this, guys. Let me tell you this. House Bill HB 194. We are going to copy this. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to our search page. We're going to go to our search page, and they still passed that bill, guys. They still passed that bill, House Bill 194. House Bill 194 is a bill for voting and voter education in Alabama. All right, we're going to look at that bill up. voting suppression bill, ACLU, Alabama League of Women Voters. All right. All right. That bill still passed because the Alabama legislative body and Senate body has a supermajority of Republicans. Republicans are doing just what they want to now in Alabama. They are doing just what they want to in Alabama. Exactly what they wanted. The title of the vote, House Bill 94, makes it a crime for local voting education organizations to provide funds for programming or collaborating with their local election officers of any type of outreach. Even though we campaign, the ACLU, as well as the League of Women Voters, all campaign against voter suppression bills. This could include nonprofit providing training on the Voting Rights Act for probate judges, churches partnering with cities of counties, election officials, and get out the vote effort. Our fraternities and our sororities making with local election officials to get people to the poll on election day. Working with people to get people to the election vote. All kinds of things. We oppose this bill. Many non-governmental organizations, nonprofit work for their local probate judges to ensure that our elections are secure, efficient, and accessible. At a time when our organizations are becoming stronger and more local, lawmakers now are seeking to suppress not just access to the ballot, but criminalize the critical work that organizers do to help vote navigate complicated voting laws. Send a message to your senator. Send a message. We went to Montgomery and spoke on that issue. H Bill 94. We're going to seek and we introduced the bill. Was introduced on February the 10th, 22, passed the House March the 10th. And guess what? It was signed into law. We need to copy this, write this. Okay. We copied this and we're going to share this with you. HB 94. Alabama House Bill 94. One thing that you guys need to understand, we're going to talk about how this bill got passed. For all of you that are tuning in, we are talking about House Bill. We're talking about House Bill number 94. Let's go back and get that information. Okay. It's Alabama House Bill 94. All right. You get that firmly in your mind. House Bill 194, Alabama House Bill. The bill was passed into law. It was introduced. All right. Introduced. Copy. All right. This is how a bill gets passed. It gets passed whenever the Senate has a supermajority. In other words, the House and the Senate has a makeup of Democrat and Republican. The Senate in Alabama is made up of Democrat and Republicans. Whenever the majority is a supermajority, which is in the state of Alabama in both houses, the Republicans control the House and the Senate in Alabama. They have a supermajority in both places. That means in Alabama, guys, the Republicans can do anything that they want. Okay? Because they have a supermajority. And that's the same thing in the federal level. If the U.S. Senate has a supermajority of Republicans, wherein right now, reason why President Joe Biden is getting things done, he doesn't have a supermajority, but they have a 50-50. And Vice President, the Vice President can break the tie vote. And how a bill becomes a law is that the supermajority most of the time in that situation, it doesn't matter what others want. If they are in the supermajority, they do whatever they want to. This bill passed the House. We're putting all this information here. This bill passed the House. Passed the House. All right. Let's see, can we get this here and there? Okay. It passed the House March the 10th. This bill passed the House March the 10th. Passed the Senate. Okay, passed Senate on April the 7th. We're trying to get it all in where we can fit it in that one spot. Okay. Okay. Okay, give a little space there. And let's post this. All right. It passed the Senate, and we got one more to get in there. Sign into law. Into law. Let's see if we get that in. Sign into law on April the 14th, 2022. Let's see, can we get that in there? Okay, come on. There it is. Okay. All right. Guys, we're talking about House Bill 194. House Bill 194. This is by the lobbyists and other folks, such as myself and League of Women Voters, fighting against this bill. Fighting against this bill. We were not successful in stopping this bill, House Bill 194. All right, and the results, guys, was that House Bill 194, Alabama House Bill introduces by Mr. Allen. It was introduced, signed into law in April the 14th. Signed into law April the 14th. Introduced to the House, and it went straight all the way to law. Governor Ivey has already signed this bill. Election, our vote is our power. Now, we want to talk about this bill. House Bill 194 would make it a crime for a local voter education organization to provide funds for programming or collaborating with their local officials' offices on any type of outreach. This was a rough bill. This was a rough bill. Official bill summary text. House Bill 194 by Representative Allen. Constitutional campaign on election. Let's go scroll down. We're just going to read some from that bill. Official responsibility for conducting an election of their employees, soliciting, accepting, using certain donations for the individual or improved funds within the meaning of amendment, be it enacted by the legislature of Alabama for the purpose of this section: election-related expenses, meaning any of the following: payment, salaries, bonuses, election for official boards. Page 1, House Bill H-194. Notwithstanding any laws, no state or local public official responsible for the conduct of an election, now it says employees. This bill is now law. This bill is now law. Now you can follow the 22 Alabama legislative session. Okay. You can follow the Alabama legislative session. You can keep up with what's going on in the state of Alabama. You can keep up with what is going on in the state of Alabama. You can go to this website right here. You can go to this website right here. You can go to this website and keep up with what is happening in the Alabama legislature for 2022. That's if you want to. Now, voting is a faith act. When you go to the poll to vote, that is an act of faith. That's an act of faith. Voting is an act of faith. It takes faith. It takes faith to do anything. You can't please God without faith. And voting is an act of faith. When was the last time you voted? When was the last time you voted? Did you vote in the last election? Did you vote in the last election? That's the question. Did you vote? What if you did not vote? Send us an email at freddiechoward@gmail.com and tell us why you didn't vote. Or you can call us right now on the telephone at 1-251-362-1935. Tell us why and for what reason you did not vote. And the election that's coming up, November the 8th, that's going to be a big election. In our district down here, Representative Thomas Jackson from District 68, he is in a race against a local member there in Monroe, Fred Kelly, for District 68. There has been efforts made to make sure that District 68 is represented by Mr. Thomas C. Jackson. But Mr. Fred Kelly believes that he can represent the folk District 68 better than Representative Thomas Jackson. Representative Thomas Jackson says that he can represent that district. This is what Representative Thomas Jackson says. He's the chair of the Agriculture and Forestry Committee for 12 years, provided millions of dollars in community grants to improve water, sewage, and broadband, making funding to our schools a priority, helped to secure pay raises for teachers and state employees, support bonuses for retirees, work with local government agencies to bring jobs into the district, funding dual employment programs for high school students, work to improve rural health care with clinics and districts, provide educational opportunities for inmates through Life Tech program, secure funding for our pre-K programs throughout the state, support Rebuilding Alabama with Roads and Bridges program. He's been married for 44 years to Miss Dorothy Howcee Jackson, father of 4 children and 5 grandchildren, retired educator in 2007, radio minister and pastor of Grace Temple Community Church at Preston community servant and an activist. Experience plus action equal results. You need to re-elect Thomas C. Jackson, State Representative, District 68, serving the people of Clark, Conecuh, Monroe, Perry, and Wilcox counties. Make sure you go out and vote. Make sure you get registered. Following the 2022 Alabama legislative session. Okay, how do you want to keep up with the legislative session, what is taking place in Alabama? Why is my legislator? Who is my legislator, and how do I contact him? Do you know that? Do you know who your representative is, what the district is, and how you can contact him? If you are a voter and you don't know that, you out of touch with what's going on. How can you have somebody making decisions about you and for you with or without your permission, and you don't know who they are and how to get in contact with them? Do you see how that look? Huh? Ooh. Do you see how that look? Do you know how that look? Vote 2022. Get registered. Go and vote. If you are not registered, get registered now. Vote 22, November 8, 2022. This is an important election coming up. You can bet you our GOP brothers and sisters that are following Trump, nearly 70 to 80 million of them, they are going to be going to the polls in droves, believing and following the wishes of Donald, our 45th president, Donald Trump. Now, you have a choice. You can vote for anybody that you want to. That include our GOP brothers and sisters. They can vote for anybody that they want to. And guess who else have a choice? You have a choice. I don't care what color you are. Black, white, green, pink, purple. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what nationality you are. You can vote if you are a citizen of the United States. You can vote if you're a citizen of the United States. It is important that you get yourself ready to vote. There was this bill, House Bill 194, that's a law now. I went to Montgomery and fought against that bill with the League of Women's Voters. I stood down there on the courthouse square with high school students, with school principals and stuff like that, and fought against that bill. But it still passed. It's still made into law. But guess what? I made my voice heard. Other people that were working with me made my voice heard. That was because the Monroe County, Alabama 2022 MLK committee fought with it. We want to give a shout out to Daryl and Sally Skipper this morning. Daryl's in Texas. Daryl Jones, Sally Skipper. These are faithful supporters of Howcee, Freddie Howard, our radio broadcast. Sally Skipper. Thank you. Good morning, Sally. Hope everything is going well for you. Good morning, Lois. How you doing? Good morning, Daryl. Good morning, Miss April. Miss April Harrison. And we're going to be playing that song, Heaven by Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph out of Talladega a while about voting right now. And we hope And we hope that as many of you as possible will get yourself registered to vote. Get yourself ready. All right. We were talking about who is my legislator and how do I contact them. Do you know who your legislator is? That's either your senator or your House representative. All right. When an upcoming legislative workshop and lobby? When our upcoming legislative workshop and lobby day? Okay. Why do you need to know that? You may have something that you need to go to the Alabama State Capitol, like we did, and to fight for or against that is coming up for a vote in the House. How can I engage with my legislator during the session? You can call them. How can I engage? All right. Here are some questions, bro. We're gonna highlight them and put them in the square for you. All right. Let's go back up here. We want to communicate with you in clear, concise language. All right. Here we go. Here's the question. Here is the question. All right. Here's the question for you. Who is my legislator and how do I contact them? Do you know who your legislator is and how you can contact them? Do you know that? If you do not know that, brother, sister, mama, daddy, cousin, friend, whoever you are that's listening to Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama, you are out of touch with who is representing you. You need to know who your legislator is and how I contact them. All right? Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's click on that. Who is my legislator and how do I contact them? Find my elected official map. Okay? Find my elected official map. In other words, according to your zip code, mine is 36425, it's going to tell you your district and where you can find your elected official map. Okay? Where you can find your elected official map. Now, all you got to do is type in your zip code. Type in your zip code. Okay, the Alabama Secretary of State, that's Mr. John H. Merrill, the Secretary of State. The Alabama Secretary of State office is dedicated to providing the people of Alabama with the information they need to inform citizens. We have created this map so that you may easily find your elected officials at the state and federal level. Please use the address bar to find your address and search for your elected officials. This is a message from John H. Merrill, the Secretary of the State of Alabama. All right, let's go back. We're going to put this. I believe this may be too long. Let's see, can we make that shorter? Let's go back. Okay, let's see, can we go back? Alabama maps. Okay, Alabama maps. I believe that will be it right there. We're going to go and post that for you. Who is my selection and how do I contact them? Let's go to this over here, and we're going to post that to make sure that will take us to Alabama. Okay, here we go. There it is. There it is, I believe. Okay. Sign into Alabama Interactive Mapping Portal. All you got to do is type that information in, and it will take you to. It will take you to who you need to my Alabama representative. Okay. All right, let's go. Tap anywhere on the map. Okay. Search Alabama elected officials. Okay. We are doing some things to get you voter educated. To get you voter educated. In other words, so you will know. It's time to stop sitting around talking about they're going to do what they want to. And guess what? I got this from an elected official, former Senator Hank Sanders, who told me, in no uncertain terms, voting counts for or against you. If you vote, it counts for you. If you do not vote, it counts against you. So whether you vote or not, whether you vote and you claim that they're going to do what they want to, it counts for or against you. You have a choice. You can make your vote count, or you can let your vote not count by not voting. All right. Let's go ahead and post that right there. All right. We're going to show you this. Who is my elected legislator and how do I contact them? You can type in, listen, guys, listen. Let's edit this so you can read it clear. Who is let's put a question mark there. Who is my elected official? Do you know? Let's go ahead and save it. To you, whoever you are, that is listening to Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama, anywhere in the world, anywhere in Alabama, especially Alabama, who is my legislator and how do I contact them? This is all you need to put in any Google search on your cell phone, on your computer. I don't care, whatever you're searching with. Who is my Alabama elected official? And guess what you're going to have to put in? You're going to have to put in your zip code. You're going to put in your zip code on the United States map. That's anywhere in the United States. That's all you got to do. Who is my elected official? And the first thing they're going to ask you, what is your zip code? And you know what a zip code is. That's how you get your mail. That's how you send your mail. Every mail letter you write, everything you write down, you put in your zip code. That's your locator. That's to where you are physically in this country. Your zip code, 36425 is mine. That brings you straight to Beatrice, Alabama. Now, your zip code is different. But if you want to find out who your legislator is, you go to Google and you type in, who is my Alabama elected official? You type in, who is my Alabama elected official? And guess what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to type in my zip code. Now, I can make up a zip code, any zip code here in Alabama, and type it in. And it, guess what? It's going to take me straight to where that is. All right, here we go. Y'all pay attention. I'm going to type in 36425. And guess what comes up? Beatrice, Alabama, USA. 36425 is also in Mexico. 36425 is in the sub-district of Guadalajara, Indiana. 36425 is also in a foreign country. It's also in different languages. You can type that in. In other words, it does not matter. Let's go to BEATRICE, Alabama. All right, we're on the map, guys. We are on the map. And guess what it's doing? It's doing some things now. And guess what? It's going to show where exactly BEATRICE, Alabama is. Guess what? It goes straight to the city of BEATRICE, Alabama. National Geographic map. This is a base map. And guess what it says? Elected official. Here we go, guys. U.S. Senate. U.S. Senator Richard Shelby. U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville. That's for the state of Alabama. Our governor is Kay Ivey. The lieutenant governor is Will Answorth. The attorney general is Steve Marshall. Secretary of State is John Merrill. The auditor is Jim Ziegler. The treasurer is John McMillan. Commissioner of Agriculture is Rick Pate. He's a Republican. Every one of these folks are Republican. Let that sink in. Nothing wrong with Republicans. Nothing wrong with Democrats. But if you're a Democrat, that means you in Alabama ain't taking care of business. If you're a Republican, you guys voting. That's why you're all in control now. That's why you have a supermajority in the House, in the Senate. That's why you can do anything that you want to. That's why you could make that bill, AB 194, in the law, because y'all voting. You Democrats in Alabama, you ain't voting. Huh? I'm silent on that because it need to be silent. You voters in Alabama, Democrat, you are not voting. Get up off of your duffs and go vote. Let's continue with who represents me here in BEATRICE, Alabama. The treasurer, as I said, was John McMillan. The Commissioner of Agriculture is Rick Pate. The Public Service Commissioner is Twinkie Kavanaugh. Public Service Commissioner in place 1 is Jeremy Oden. Public Service Commission in place 2 is Chip Becker. Every one of these people are Republicans. Alabama. What are you doing? Democrats, what are you doing? Why are you not voting? Why? You're going around sitting around talking about they're going to do what they want to. You bet your bippy they gonna vote, do what they want to. Let's go back. The Supreme Court chief of the Alabama Supreme Court. Guess what? Every one of these people are Republicans. The Supreme Court Chief Justice. Man, let me put this here. Let me see, can I highlight this? I'm copying it, and I'm going to go to a Facebook page. I'm going to go to a Facebook page, my page of the MLK. All right. Elected officials. All are Republicans. All of them are Republicans. Every single one of them. Every single one of these. I am just posting this information for you to understand what is happening in Alabama, why Alabama is represented by Republicans, because the Republican people are voting. Because the Republicans are voting. Alabama elected representatives. Alabama is controlled by the GOP, Republicans. Alabama is controlled by the GOP, Republicans. We are just putting it out here in plain, clear language. We are putting it out here in plain, clear language for you. Now, what about that? What about that, huh? You want to know why that's like that? Because the Republicans are voting, guys. The Republicans are voting. They're not sitting around talking about they're going to do what they want to. Alabama is controlled by the GOP. Okay, let's go back. The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court. Let's look at this Alabama Supreme Court. Every one of them, every single one of them, every single one of them is a Republican. Every single one of them. Let's go back over here. Alabama judiciary. We posting it now. It's up to you to read it. Judicial officers. Take a look at it, guys. Every single one of them every single one of them. You take a look at it. You take a look at it, guys. Right there in plain language for you. Every single one of them. Okay? Let's get some more information for you. We're trying to get you to see what is taking place in Alabama. All right, District 22. District 68. District 23. Here are your representatives. More information for you. These are who your representatives are. Senate District 23. Now there's somebody running for that seat now. District 68. That's Representative Thomas Jackson. Congressional District There is one lone Democrat man. This is amazing, isn't it? You want to know why you are? Here is why. Let's go ahead and post it. We're posting this information to our website where we do a lot of where we have a lot of information. Alabama is controlled by the GOP. I'm going to edit. I'm going to put this where you cannot miss it. You cannot miss this, guys. Alabama is controlled. Alabama is controlled by the GOP. Okay, let's go ahead and post it, save it. Alabama is controlled. I need to add ED on that. Alabama is controlled by the GOP. Okay, let's type in control. We want to make sure it's spelled correctly. Alabama is controlled. I'm going to break it up in syllables for you. Alabama is controlled. Alabama is controlled by the GOP. Alabama is controlled by the GOP, Republicans. Controlled by REPUBLICANS. Okay. Let's post it. Alabama is controlled by who? The GOP. Another L. Alabama is controlled by the Republicans. In plain old simple language, guys, Alabama is controlled by the GOP. All are GOP. All GOP Republicans. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back, guys. I'm going to go back. Circuit Court Judge. All right. Okay. I'm trying to get that's a S. I don't know what that stands for. Okay. Let's go back and look at it for you, all of you all. I should save it. There it is, guys. It's right there in plain language on the website. Who is the legislator and how do I contact them? That was our last question I answered. You can find your elected official. You can find your elected official by going to this map. You can find your elected official. All right. Alabama elected official. Do you know who your elector elected do you know who your Alabama representative is? Do you know who my elected official is? Do you know that? Do you know who your pace? Do you know who your in big letters elected official is? Do you know who your elected official is? you know who your elected official? Do you know who your elected official is? Do you know it? That's the question. Do you know who your elected official is? Go to the link below and PYPE, type in your zip code. Go to the link below and type in your zip code. Go to the link below and type in your zip code. Go to the link below and type in your zip code. That's all you got to do. That is all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Go to this link below and type in tap on the map anywhere. Type it in. Type in your code. Let's go here and close that. That is powerful information, guys. That lets you know that in Alabama, that's why Alabama is being controlled by the GOP. Because the Democrats are not voting. And who make up a large block of the Democratic votes in Alabama? Black folks, folks of color, different skin color, but majority of whites are voting Republicans. That's the thing about that. The reason why okay. I'm trying to reach out to somebody here this morning. I hope he picks up. It's 7:30 in the morning. Probably sleeping. That's where most people are this morning.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 443-528.
All right. He's not up this morning. But anyway, we want to give you a picture of why Alabama is controlled by the GOP. Because all of the elected officials for the state of Alabama are 100% Republicans. They control the state. That's why they can't get nothing done in the legislature. And up on the national level, the reason why they can't get nothing done, they got a 50-50 split there. And the Republicans have been stopping and blocking everything that the Democrats do. Joe Biden got a lot of stuff done this year. But all you can hear about is Trumpeteers. That's all you can hear. It's Trump, 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 Trump. And why is that? That's because of the media. All they want to do is talk about Trump, 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 Trump. Fox just did that work. And you know who I call Fox? Fox in the hen house. Fox in the hen house. They love what white America wants. They love what white America want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they're getting paid to do. They get money out of it. All them folks on Fox, Hannity, and all the different ones, they making money. That's the bottom line. And we want to give a special shout out to the League of Women Voters of Alabama, Miss Kathy Jones, and all of the folks that work with us, the Martin Luther King Parade Committee that worked with us at the courthouse. We want to thank Ms. Brenda Cowles, Gwen Richardson, all of the folks, Kobe Hawthorne, high school student, all of the folks that helped us, part of the Alabama Voting Rights Coalition. We want to do a mock. We talked to Ms. Stinson now a while back, but the schools got to get squared away and so forth. It's all the good stuff that they got to do at school. We want to do a mock election sometime in the future. I need to go to my email address right quick. And I was asked several weeks ago about how we were coming with the mock election. I didn't respond because at the time there was some things going on in the school system that need to be dealt with. Let's see. Let me go search for League of Women Voters. League of Women Voters. Voter engagement. League of Women Voters panel. Okay. League of Women Voters run the show information. League of Women Press event. Press Protect Voter Engagement Project, March the 20th on the square. Panelists, media advisor, press protection. Okay. I'm going to see can I locate that voter engagement project. Media. Okay. 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 Okay, Kathy Jones. Let's search for Kathy Jones. Okay. 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 Oh, schools. All about. Okay. Okay. I sent that email to Miss Kathy Jones. We were working and getting in preparation for a mock elections at the local high school here, but that calls for a lot of work, and that has to be done in coordination with Ms. Stinson there in the courthouse and the local principals that are willing to take on that challenge. And it is a challenge to do a mock election. In other words, what we go through as adults in getting registered, filling out information to vote, finding out our polling place, where we go vote, all that kind of information, and then printing the ballots and have a sample ballot box and have kids working the polls just like adults be doing the polls here in Beatrice, like Mr. Sanders and other folks be working in the poll. The kids be doing everything. And that takes a lot of work to do a mock election. We have been working on that, but we have just begun the preparation to do that. But that takes a lot of work indeed to do that. God has been awfully good to us, and the information that we've been putting out there, we hope that the people will get themselves in a position. All right. Call to action. We did a lot of stuff on that bill, trying to stop House Bill 194. But we were not successful. And the reason why we were not successful was because the GOP wanted that bill passed, and they had the majority, and they voted how they wanted it to go. That's what happened on that bill. We are still live on YouTube and other places and LinkedIn and things like that. But God is awfully good. And we want to thank all of you that have been tuning in for the last hour and a half for what we've been talking about here about voting. what have we been talking about? We have been talking about voting and how important voting is. Important voting is. We're going to take a comment for checking out our radio, the RADIBeatrice broadcast about VOTE voting in Alabama, Alabama. Vote 22 in Alabama. Let's go ahead and put that in there. The main point that we want you to get is that, go ahead and edit this post. Alabama. Okay, let's copy it all. Copy it. Let's go to paste. We're going to paste that. All right, let's do that right there. Okay, that is what the program has been about all this morning, about voting. Get registered and go vote. Alabama, get registered. Alabama, get registered. Go vote 2022, November the 8th, 2022. Okay. I really would like to put a picture in here. Okay. Get ready and go vote. That's what it's all about. Stop sitting around talking about they're going to do what they want to. And yes, they will. They are going to do what they want to. Okay, we had promised you that we were going to play some music for you. This is Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph from the album. Let's see. Let's go play the song that New Direction. Deontay and New Direction. Okay. You're listening to Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama, 36425.
Just wanna praise you. I just wanna praise you forever and never. For all you've done for me. Blessings and glory and honor, they all belong to you, my Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. Yeah, I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you forever and never. blessings and glory and honor, they all belong to you. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, blessed be. Hey, it belongs to you. They all belong to you. Everything belongs to you. They all belong to you. It belongs to you. They all belong. I give you the praise. I lift my hands. All to you. I give you all the praise. All to you. You are good. They all belong to I give you. Listen, Lord, I love you and I worship you. I praise your name. I give you praise for all you've done and all that you're getting ready to do. I praise you. I give you praise. Everything I am because you've been good. All of our worship, it belongs to you. Lord, you are the source of my strength. And I gotta tell you, thank you, Jesus. You wanna tell me thanks. You healed my body. Told me to run home. Thank you, Lord. You are a doctor, Lord. In the same room now. Thank you, Jesus. I wouldn't be here today. Thank you, Lord. I want to tell you.
Okay. We hope you like that song there. That was Deontay, A New Direction, Praise You. We just got that song. And we want to scroll down here to find Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph. I know they're on here somewhere, but I got to find them. Here it is right here. This is Ray Hollins.
CD for you today on Howcee Internet Radio. This is Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph. It's a brand new CD just released. It's got 11 cuts on there. Come and Go With Me, which is going to open up with that one. Then Heaven, Dr. Jesus, God is a Healer, My Mind's on Jesus, Heaven is a Beautiful Place, Still Running, Have You Heard About a Man? I Want to Live for You, and When One Door Closed. All right, sit back and relax and enjoy. Come and Go With Me, the opening cut on the new CD, Heaven. And guess what? You can get it in all kinds of places.
Come on and go with me. Come on, come on, go with me. Come on and go. Come on, go. Listen, come on. Do you want to get there to that place so bright and fair? Milk and honey, go over there. I want to go. I want to go. Come on and go with me. Come on and go with me. Come on and go with me. Come on, go with me. Come on, 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 come
More music coming your way from Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph out of Silicaga, Alabama. This one I like right here is called Heaven.
Oh, what a time what we have. When we get to heaven, there'll be no more crying, there'll be no more dying. Nothing but praising God all day. Seeing family members, seeing the renewing of the new heaven and the new earth. All hail King Jesus. I've got a home, yeah, in the sky. I've got a home, and it's mine, oh mine. I've got a home, in the sky. I've got a home. I've got a home. And it's mine, oh mine. And it's mine, oh mine. Somewhere above the clouds, there's a home waiting on me. There will praise forevermore. Oh, hail the King of Kings. Oh, but in order to make it there, I've got to live right, yeah. 'Cause you see, I wanna be ready. Oh, in the sky. I've got a home. I've got a home. And it's mine, all mine. And it's mine, all mine. I got a home over there. I've got a home over there. Anybody wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? I got a home over there. I got a home over there. Anybody wanna go? Do you wanna go? I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. It's my time. Wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. Do you wanna go to heaven? The streets of pavement go heaven. It's the home that was so heaven. I'm talking about a heavenly heaven. Oh, heaven. I say to that heaven. Making to heaven. Talking about a heavenly heaven. I'm talking about a heavenly heaven. I'm singing it over there. Life has touched many with pain. Now I understand what it means to live by Christ's name. He erases all of your sorrow. Yeah. God is a healer. Yeah. God is a healer. You're saying God is, yeah. Whoa, God is, yeah. Listen to me. I've seen tears and sorrow when there seemed to be no hope for tomorrow. Just let him do it. Just let him move. God is, yeah, a healer. God is a healer. Y'all said that with me. God is. One more time. God is. Oh. Listen to this, y'all. Ooh. He healed. He delivered. He sets free. He sets free. God, yeah. God, yeah, Lord. We will set out again. Listen. He delivered. He sets free. He sets free. Oh, yeah. My God. Oh, He delivered. He set free. He set free. God. Oh, yeah. Won't He heal you? Won't He set you? God. Oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, ooh, yeah. Look at him. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. Yeah. Woke up this morning, yeah, with my mind stayed on Jesus. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Keep your mind on Jesus. You ought to keep your mind. You ought to keep your mind. You ought to keep your mind. Yeah, on the Lord. Yeah. Mind on Jesus, mind on Jesus, mind on Jesus, mind on Jesus. My mind is on Jesus. Move up with my mind on Jesus. Mind on Jesus, mind on it, mind on Jesus, mind on Jesus, mind on Jesus, mind on it. My mind's on the Lord. My mind's on Jesus. My mind's on him. God, my mind's on him. God, my mind's on the Lord. Oh, yeah. My mind. Hold up with my mind. My mind's on the Lord. You ought to keep your mind. You ought to keep your mind. You ought to keep your mind on the Lord.
The Bible declares that Jesus said, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I'm reminded that when Jesus was on the cross, he was hanging in between two thieves. And one of them said, if thou be the Messiah, save us and save yourself. And the other said, Master, when you come into your kingdom, remember me. Jesus looked at him and said, this day you shall be with me in paradise. Heaven is a beautiful place. 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 And I wanna go where the streets are paved with gold. Pain will be no more. Such a beautiful place. Yeah, I wanna go where the streets are paved with gold. Pain will be no more. Such a beautiful place. Listen to this. Can you imagine just being there in that land, so bright and fair? You know they tell me it's the land of no more crying, no more dying, nothing but joy. And I wanna go where the streets are paved with gold. Pain will be no more. Such a beautiful place. And I wanna go where the streets are paved with gold. Pain will be no more. Such a beautiful place. Can you say it again? I wanna go where the streets are paved with gold. Pain Pain will be no more. Such a beautiful place. Let me ask you something. Do you want to go? 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 Help me say. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you want to go over yonder in that beautiful city? 12 gates to the city. I know I want to get there. He's gonna say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few days. Come on up a little higher. I'm gonna make you ruler. I'm gonna make you ruler. He's waiting on you. 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 Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Eh, do you wanna go? Yeah.
All right, that was Ray Hollins and the New Boys of Triumph.
Their new CD is called Heaven. We hope you have been able to enjoy those portions of the song. We are coming down to the end of our broadcast. We have been here for a while, and we want to thank you for being a part of Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama. We've been talking about voting. You just got to listen to Ray Hollins and New Boys of Triumph out of Silicago. And we hope that you will get yourself ready to vote in the coming up election, November the 8th. Representative Thomas Jackson is going to be in that race. Fred Kelly is going to be in that race from local folks here. Fred Kelly from down there in Monroe, Thomas Jackson from over there in Thomasville. And make sure you get yourself ready as a voter. You want to communicate with Representative Thomas Jackson, you can contact him at 334-564-7089, 334-636-7446, Alabama Legislature. Find out for yourself about what Representative Thomas Jackson has did. Do not be misled or directed by others to go to someplace else because you believe that's better, but find out, is it better? Okay, find out from Representative Thomas Jackson. I want to give you a story right quick about my relationship with him. My relationship started with him back in the 90s. When I was on the Monroe County School Board, we had built a new gym out there at J.F. Sears High School, and the school board said they did not have the money once we had completed the building and to put bleachers in the gymnasium. So I was on the school board at the time, and I began to go out myself and reach out to politicians and businesses and other people in the state of Alabama to get bleachers put in that gymnasium, even though the board at the time, I believe, had the money to put in there, but they said he didn't. But anyway, we were successful in getting them bleachers put in that gym by the efforts of Thomas C. Jackson, Hank Sanders, Vanity Fair, and other people that contributed money to give to the Monroe County Board of Education to put them bleachers in that gymnasium. And them bleachers were put in. So I have worked with Reverend Jackson ever since the 90s. And I believe in what he do as a representative for the state of Alabama in District 68. There are other folks in this district, our white brothers and sisters, want to change. They want a white person, a GOP believer up there in Montgomery fighting for the people in District 68. What do you want for District 68, which is a majority black district? There's a lot of white brothers and sisters in this district. There's a lot of black brothers and sisters in this district. There's other folks in this district. But the thing about that is you get yourself ready to vote. The general election is coming up. The general election is coming up November 8th. Find out what you need to know to go to the polls and vote. It's important that you go to the polls and vote. You want to comment on what we've been talking about for the past 2 hours? You can email me, howard@gmail.com. You can contact me at 1-251-362-1935. I'm all over Facebook and everywhere else. That's Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama 36425. There is a thing that I want to run for you. The gentleman that I'm going to be playing here is talking about critical race theory and all kind of other stuff in regards to what's taking place in this country. And his name is Christopher F. Ruffo. Christopher F. Ruffo. That is the guy's name. And I'm going to play for you to close out our program for today a clip from YouTube that he has got. And Christopher Ruffo, that's his name. Okay. Christopher Ruffo, he's a conservative guy. The new ideology, the name of this article is The New Ideology Reign. And I'm hoping that, all right, let's go ahead and put that in there. Okay. Okay. The gentleman that we're going to be playing is F. Ruffo, The New Ideology Reign. In other words, it's about controlling your mind. Who are you letting control your mind? Who are you letting control your mind? Are you letting God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit control your mind? And my question to you is, who are you letting control your mind? When you listen to this, who are you letting control your mind? Who are you letting control your mind? Are you letting guys like Christopher Ruffin control your mind? Or are you letting God control your mind? Which one? Are you letting others control your mind? Pay attention as you listen to this, and we hope you are allowing God. We hope you allowing God to control your mind.
Understand the world as it exists, how knowledge, language, and ideas.
Let's go back and start it again.
Left has hijacked America's knowledge making.
We're trying to get it right so we started on the right pace. Get
Politics must be to understand the world as it exists, how knowledge, language, and ideas are formed. And in our case, this means understanding the intellectual left has hijacked America's knowledge-making institutions in service of their own political power.
Christopher
The key
Ruffer.
figure for understanding how knowledge is produced and disseminated today in the United States and in the West more broadly is a French theorist named Michel Foucault. And Foucault is someone for the political right that inspires a kind of fear and revulsion. I think a lot of people in conservative circles see the image of Foucault in some ways correctly as an amoral, left-wing Nietzschean philosopher who is intent on dissolving every social norm, dissolving any kind of conception of the universal or the transcendent, and then reducing everything to a pure conception of political power. And I think that criticism is largely accurate to a certain extent, but it's also true that in many ways we live in Foucault's world. The political project that he and other left-wing theorists in Europe and then in the United States launched in the late 1960s has actually come to fruition. It really dominates the kind of discourse production that we find ourselves in today. And so to understand the basic factual reality of our world as it exists requires us to understand Foucault, and requires us more specifically to understand Foucault's network of ideas centering on the idea of the knowledge regime. This idea that knowledge and power are somehow interlinked. In the texts, they actually put a dash or a hyphen between the two words to show that they're two circling ideas that are now linked together. And what Foucault means by this, by power knowledge, for example, is that knowledge and power cannot exist without one another. And in fact, he suggests, although he never quite edges there, he kind of plays with you in this intellectual dance as you're reading his books. I think what he really means is that all knowledge is a function of power, is produced by power, is used as rationalization, justify power, and then to exercise power in society. And he against this in his own time, in the 1960s and 70s, because Foucault believed that this knowledge was used in a neoliberal West capitalist hegemonic structure that was repressing racial and sexual minorities, that was repressing critical ideas, that was repressing intellectual advancement or liberation from all of these norms that had been reinforced by what he believed was really superficial, almost pseudo knowledge. So Foucault's project was to dissolve all of these structures, was to challenge all of this knowledge, was to really embed the critical spirit in all of the production of language and ideology and concepts of his time. And you see this everywhere in the modern university system, for example, where Foucault is cited more than any other social theorist in the world. His ideas have penetrated not just social theory, but really all of the disciplines, down to even a kind of Foucauldian interpretation of hard sciences and mathematics, chemistry, biology, and physics. And so the spirit of Foucault, this left-wing nihilism that takes joy in dissolving certainty, has been, I think, triumphant in our high-level intellectual discourse for a generation. And consequently, many of the old certainties that people used as heuristics or as a kind of guide in order to make decisions has come into question. There's a sense of doubt. There's a sense of anxiety among so many people who are looking at those background concepts that were questioned, that gave people a somewhat of an easy path forward, now being a source of doubt, now being a source of confusion, now being a source of anxious contemplation. And I think what the result is that we're living in a kind of postmodern maze where people are seeking to put one foot in front of another in a really confusing intellectual world. I think this has had, in one sense, disastrous consequences. But in another, it's opened up new possibilities for politics, because you can't simply lament the fact that the old politics has gone by the wayside. You have to address the politics as it is today. And I think that means starting with Foucault, understanding him not because we agree with him, but understanding him because his ideas are important. His ideas shape the modern world. We should begin then by defining Foucault's idea of the knowledge regime. The concept is actually quite simple. Foucault takes the position that all knowledge is socially constructed. All knowledge is created by human beings in a specific place, in a specific time, in order to perpetuate or extend their own domination or their own rule. And so he tries to take a look at, in a sociological way, at all of these ideas that seem dominant, that seem accepted, that seem inevitable, and to break them apart, to show actually they're a product of how they become institutionalized, how they become created, who holds them, and then how they're used in the politics of the contemporary society. Foucault's ideas have a grain of truth, of course, even if you accept that there is a metaphysical basis to reality, that there is some higher universal or transcendent principle that governs the universe. You have to admit that also at the same time, there is this kind of squabbling world of human ideas and institutions and politics and structures that determine a lot of what we experience in the here and now. And Foucault at the time used this technique to call into question the ideas of his time. But my argument is that actually since that time, there's been a reversal. And in fact, the left-wing ideas espoused by Foucault and others in that period have now become the dominant set of ideas in our institutions today. And we can actually take that technique from Foucault. We can take his idea of the knowledge regime and apply it to our own society, not agreeing with his presuppositions, but using his techniques to illuminate the world that we live in the current time. And I would argue that if you look at the American knowledge regime in the 2020s, you see something extraordinary and quite astonishing. You see the building of a vertically and horizontally integrated knowledge machine. You see the universities, the social sciences, the mainstream broadcast press, and the high technology companies in Silicon Valley, all converging around a similar or even same set of ideas. What I've seen in my analysis and my reporting on federal agencies, K through 12 school districts, university teacher training programs, and other mainstream knowledge forming institutions in our society is a remarkable similarity in the views. You take the ideas, say the 10 or so concepts from critical race theory. You take the 10 or so concepts from queer theory, and then you put them together into a kind of amalgamum of identity politics and critical theory and neo-Marxist ideology. And a lot of these ideas have become embedded in a copy and paste manner across our elite institutions. And so what you get initially formulated in the university social science and humanities departments, you then see filtered through the kind of basic ideological background of most of our mainstream left of center press organs. Famously, those charts of the New York Times adopting terms like systemic racism and white privilege, taking them directly from the university and then implanting them into mass media. And then you get high technology companies which have a same set of kind of elite college graduate employees that have absorbed these ideas, then enforcing orthodoxy on social media through censorship, through the discouragement of certain ideas and concepts. And then finally, you get, even at the level of K through 12 curriculum, the absorption of these ideas and the promotion in basic primary and secondary pedagogy. And when you take a 360-degree view of this, you can see this not a centralized in a political sense. It's not a top-down command and control ideological formulation. But what it is, it's a decentralized, networked, technologically driven knowledge regime that enforces itself and reinforces itself as the various parts innovate and suppress knowledge and encourage knowledge, promote knowledge, and then even require knowledge. And when you see these left-wing ideas forming part of the federal apparatus in federal government or the K through 12 public school system, they're not merely being promoted as one of many ideas. They're being promoted by an orthodoxy, and they're actually complete ideas. Because if you are a federal employee, or if you a student in a, let's say, a kindergarten classroom or a third grade classroom, this ideology is being promoted with the full and compulsory power of the state. And so whether it's critical race theory or queer theory or the basic neo-Marxist structure that underpins those ideologies, it's now becoming part of the official orthodoxy and being cemented into American life as primary background concepts and background knowledge in this new building, sophisticated, postmodern, and tech-driven knowledge machine. The second key idea that we should take from Foucault is his criticism of how knowledge and ideas are formed in the system of so-called neoliberalism. Foucault was a critic of liberalism from the standpoint that he believed it was also socially constructed. It wasn't inevitable. It had repressive power dynamics built into it, all with this veneer of free expression, free exchange, the ultimate freedom of ideas and conversation. He's not right to the extent of his critique, but he's certainly right from the beginning of his critique. I would also advance the idea that the idea of the marketplace of ideas is a myth. It's something that you hear over and over from maybe baby boomer era conservatives, where they say, well, we just need to go out there and beat them in the marketplace of ideas. It's a very attractive idea, and in theory, it would work according to the dictates of classical economics. You have supply of ideas. So you have the supply side of intellectual activity in which conservative academics and thinkers and journalists and liberal academics and thinkers and journalists can produce ideas. They can produce tweets and op-eds and articles and books. They can go on television and debate. And then the public that either demands these ideas or demands the other set of ideas can decide through their votes, through their support, through their cash, through their decisions, which ideas are triumphant. This is a beautiful system in theory, but in practice, I would say that we have not a free marketplace of ideas, but we actually have a kind of monopoly system of ideas, or more accurately, a cartel system of ideas, in which publicly created, publicly subsidized institutions, such as the public university system, the K through 12 school system, all of the mid-level bureaucracies of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, which are mandated by the government, not just in public institutions, but also increasingly in private institutions, have a stranglehold on ideas, have a stranglehold on the discourse. And in fact, there's not a system of free exchange of ideas. There's some of that, of course. I'm freely exchanging my ideas here. I'm able to build an audience and to reach people. But it's in this broader knowledge regime or this broader intellectual environment where the true supply side cartel, the people who create the bulk of intellectual matter, of intellectual content, are dominated by the left-wing ideologies, the critical theories that have been really firmly ensconced and implanted in these massive institutions with billions upon billions of dollars of endowment cash, of guaranteed public subsidy from taxpayers. And then they have a kind of lifetime employment racket where they can take their friends and allies and like-minded people and call that free inquiry. And so we have this really remarkable reversal where Foucault's criticism of the marketplace of ideas, of so-called academic freedom, even ideas that sound very nice like good faith debate, which he used to attack maybe a more conservative and establishment-oriented knowledge regime in his time, can actually be taken, appropriated, and turned back on the knowledge regime of our time. And these actually yield real concrete insights. It's not merely a postmodern game of criticizing the critic or of turning the tables or reversing the polarity of this political position. In some ways, again, Foucault is right. You have to look at our modern universities, not as oriented towards free inquiry, oriented towards knowledge, oriented towards a discovery of the metaphysical truth that governs human life, that can reveal the fundamental and universal attributes of human nature. All of that is gone. It's essentially been banished or vanquished from our university system, and then consequently from all of the other state-subsidized organs of knowledge production. And so what I think we're verging towards, and what the left would like to bring into being, is this arrangement, is this knowledge regime, is a kind of ideology of critical race theory and queer theory that are aligned with a permanent diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucracy in every institution. This kind of lateral or horizontal band of bureaucracy that enforces this ideology everywhere, from the federal government to the K through 12 schools, to the university system, to every private employer in this country. And so when you go out and you live your daily life, if this kind of system becomes solidified, the background knowledge and then also the incentives, the system of rewards and punishments for the ideas that you think, the ideas that you express, the ideas that you guide your behavior, in essence, how you actually shape the values that you live by, will be permanently captured by this new ideological regime. And this is really, in a sense, where we're trending. It's not already here, it's not inevitable, but I think it's a risk. And we can use our own system of values as the founding orientation of what we think is good and bad, true and false, right and wrong. But we can also take a cue from some of our opponents that have actual valuable insights into the world as it exists today. If we accept that we live in a knowledge regime, and we accept that that knowledge regime is dominated by left-wing ideas within the institutions, the natural question is, what do we do next? I think the answer begins with a strategy of politics about politics, or meta-politics, in which we actually take a look at those ideas that are subterranean, the concepts and structures and institutional patterns that govern the surface level of debate and policy we live with every day. And if we're serious about metapolitics, if we're serious about this more sophisticated vision of how of the interplay between politics and power as it exists in our society today, we have to first dispel with a series of myths, a series of concepts that in the abstract and in a perfect world are good, but don't actually exist as we live in the world today. And so we take the marketplace of ideas, we take academic freedom, we take good faith debate as Platonic ideals again, but not as a real way to base our politics. And so appeals to these concepts, appeals to academic freedom, for example. In a university system where in some elite universities, 98% are self-described left-wing, is to buy into a system where there's academic freedom if you only pursue a certain orthodox set of ideas, which is to say academic freedom that doesn't exist at all. And as we said, if you live in an ideological cartel, appealing to the market ideas in a market that's fundamentally broken will again get you nowhere. And in fact serves to simply reinforce the values and institutions and power of your opponent. So what do? We actually take a critique that we can then launch back at the system. And so this critique begins with trying to understand how the postmodern maze exists within our lives as it actually works in practice, and then trying to figure out a way to navigate through it, trying to dispel with myths and illusions and develop a strategy not just for defeating ideas on an abstract intellectual basis. And so, of course, this is good. I'm not saying it's bad. We should be having, let's say, debates on television, on the radio, debates in lecture halls. This is something that I do. I enjoy. I'm all to go on MSNBC or CNN or NPR or The Economist and actually debate people one-on-one who disagree with me. But that's not sufficient. You actually then have to have a politics that understands the institutional structure and then seeks to change institutional structure. And so you can even appeal to those liberal ideals, which I think are good. In essence, they're good, as long as they're practiced in reality, and say we should have academic freedom, but we don't have academic freedom on campus. We should have good faith debate, but if the bureaucracy is rigged against an open and free exchange of ideas, we don't have the possibility of good faith debate. And we should have a marketplace of ideas, but when 90% of the intellectual content that's created is governed by a system that is subsidized by tax dollars and bureaucratic orthodoxy that all goes one way, the marketplace of ideas is broken. And in order to restore it, we need to have fundamental reforms to our federal bureaucracy, to our public university systems, and through our K through 12 schools. When you have that kind of idea, you're trying to reform or give new life to those liberal ideals. And again, these are things that I believe in as long as they're real, as long as they're pointed and oriented towards the virtues and values and principles that make this country great and that give real life to those ideas, that they give authentic and meaningful expression to those ideas. We should fight for them, but we should not fight for them in the naive and unsophisticated way that too many conservatives fight today, simply appealing to them as if they always have existed, always exist today, always will exist. And they don't actually take a look at the nitty-gritty, real power politics in our country, stacked against these ideas and simply uses these ideas to provide a thin veneer of respectability, a thin veneer of liberal discourse to put to sleep liberals on left and right who believe in those ideas without questioning them. It's time for conservatives to start questioning those ideas. It's time for conservatives to start questioning our institutions. And it's time for conservatives to develop a strategy of politics that will shape and reshape those structures in order to give those liberal ideals meaning again. Although some of Foucault's ideas are valuable, although they give some insight into the world, ultimately his ideas are corrosive and they're a dead end. He plays this really dubious game in a lot of his books where he says we play truth games, where he teases that the truth might exist, but we can never quite get there. But if you read it closely, there is a black hole of nihilism at the end of Foucault's work. He doesn't believe that there's any human nature. He doesn't believe that there's any universal morality. And he doesn't believe that there's any transcendent order to the world. He believes that they're all mediated by people, by flesh and blood, and that the transgression becomes the point. It becomes not a battle of humankind to try to reach the truth, but a battle of humankind to dominate through the will. It's a brutal philosophy. It's one that ends in nihilism and that can never provide a stable basis. There's a story that might be apocryphal, but I think it's instructive. Foucault was having a debate with a liberal thinker who said, well, if you are questioning every kind of ideology, if you believe that it's all reducible to power, that it has no meaning outside of itself, why should we believe you? Why should your ideas be part of our social structure? How can we know that they're any better than anything else? And according to this story, Foucault kind of, in shame, collapsed to himself and says that, well, that's liberal enlightenment blackmail. He had no response to this idea. And so we can take him for the ideas that are useful and valuable in analyzing the structure of knowledge, the promotion of ideas, and how the messy work of language and power exist in our society in the here and now. But we can't abandon a commitment to the idea that there's something beyond us, that there's something fixed and universal in human nature, and that there is something that could be the highest good. Even if we can't all get there as individuals, even though we can't always grasp it in its fullness, we should always be striving towards it. And when you lose this telos, when you lose this orientation, when you lose this North Star, you're going to be caught in the postmodern maze forever. And so the sophisticated politics and metapolitics of the right has to always have that guiding star, has to always have that purpose and truth towards which we are striving, but also have this complex interplay, this double game. Acknowledge the world as it is. We fight to have concepts that can, better concepts to vanquish worse concepts, and that we can reshape the institutions that matter in all of our lives. We can change the laws that pervert knowledge, prevent knowledge, and suppress knowledge in order to create a better exchange of ideas, a better system of government, a better system of institutions that can yield better insights and get closer to the truth.
All right. We hope that you all enjoyed that session there. And the problem is truth. Do you know what truth is? Truth, the answer, God the Father, the Son Jesus, and this Holy Spirit, the Comforter. That is the truth. We hope the truth. The things that he is talking about, right and left and conservative, all those things, that's world stuff. All of that is the world. The world is going to pass away just like that. God has got a time set for the world. Don't be misled by the stuff that you're hearing from gentlemen like this, your white brothers and sisters, their black brothers and sisters. You need to understand God's word and the truth. This world is controlled by Satan only for a little while. The world is not your home. The world will destroy you. You will not be the last one to believe everything that the world is saying. Satan, the God of this world, he will kill you. The world does not love you. Satan is in charge of this world just for a little while. Satan, the devil, seeks to sift us like wheat. Rely on the truth. God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit the Comforter. It's in your Bible. It tells you all of it. Read Revelations. Read Revelations. And it will give you the answers that you're looking for in the world. Be in the world, but not of the world. On behalf of all of us here at Howcee Internet Radio, we thank you for listening to Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama. Until next time, we'll see you next time on Howcee Productions Gospel. Good morning, Beatrice, Alabama. God bless you and take care. See you next time.